Hi, everyone. It's Dawn Fisher, Morning Glory Needleworks. Welcome to my 80-second FlossTube video. And as always, thank you to everybody who subscribed and commented, liked my videos. I appreciate it. And if you watch them, I really appreciate that too. As always, all links are listed below the comments description section. I also break my videos into chapters. So if there's a certain segment you want to watch again, like we have Stitch of the Month this time. So you can go back and watch that whenever you need. So you just, in that section, it will show all the chapters. I had a lot of chapters this time. Just click on the timestamp next to the chapter you want to go to, and it will take you directly to that section. Also, I have links to my Etsy shop, to the Morning Glory Needleworks Etsy shop, Instagram, Stitch of the Month Facebook group, Morning Glory Needleworks Facebook group. Buy me a coffee in case you appreciate what I'm doing. You can donate a little bit for me. And I also have bio.link, which has a link to everything all at once. So it's the 1st of August, 2025. I have lots of things to talk about. Yes, I'm finally back. I took some time off from FlossTube. And thank you to everybody who contacted me to make sure I was okay. I'm fine. I just had to kind of clear my mind a little bit. I've got a lot going on, and a lot of which I'm going to talk about today. So you're going to see how I've been kind of busy. Right now, I'm preparing to teach 3 classes over 4 days for the Needlework Guild of Minnesota. I'm very excited about that. I've been putting together kits, which is crazy. If you've never put a kit together, it's a madhouse, especially with that many of them, and especially the button box, which has lots of buttons to be sorted through. I'm going to be teaching the Star Spangled Sampler, Grandma's Button Box, and the Wild Strawberries Needlebook and Pincushion. So I'm very excited because I've never been to Minnesota before. And usually when I teach, I don't really see the area because I don't have a car. I'm busy teaching, and at night I just kind of crash or spend some time with some people at the retreat. But I'm really excited because Marilyn McMahon, who's going to be picking me up from the airport, is taking me on a tour of the area. I scheduled a really early flight. So I'll be there before noon, and she's been sending me all these ideas for things. We're going to go to lunch, and then there's some other stuff going on that we're going to go see. So I'm really excited about that. And so on my next FlossTube, I will be sharing a lot of the things I did and what happened. So I'll let you know I will still be in Minnesota on the 15th of August. So my FlossTube's going to be a little late, but at least I have a good reason this time. So that's what's going on there. I'll be busy cutting fabric and putting kits together and all that good stuff because I leave pretty soon. Now, while I was at the Spring Fling, I have a new design. So while I was at Spring Fling retreat, an idea came into my head. I may have mentioned this before. So I had to run with the idea. It was flying around in my head. So I purchased this beautiful linen. I think I showed it before. This is half of the package. This is I bought a fat half, I think it is, and this is a fat quarter. The other half is being stitched, but this is this beautiful linen. It's 32 count linen, fabrics by Stephanie, and this is called Polar Plunge. Polar Plunge. So I'm very excited about this. So, and I just love it. The going to talk about it more in a minute, but it made me really happy. So I also pulled Silky Floss. You know, I love Silky, and they have these collections. Now, this is a collection of 10 different colors of floss that go together. And they were, I don't know what project they're from. I don't have the package right here, but I pulled those because I love the colors. They had what I wanted. I had this idea, but of course, as always, when something's in my head, the final product is a lot different, kind of the same, but different than what I originally planned. The original idea is still floating around in there in another way. But anyway, but I wanted to create a class design that was really different from any of my other classes. So the current name for this project is called Polly's Petticoats. That may change. I don't know. That kind of popped into my head. It's going to be a 2-day class. I don't have the project finished, but oh, sorry. During the first day of class, we're going to be creating each of her petticoats. And then on the second day, we're going to add the embellishments. So I have the petticoat stitched. I have pretty much all of Polly stitched. I have to add her shoes. I'm still debating on the shoes. But anyway, I have to add her shoes yet and some of the embellishments. But I'm going to show you this. Like I said, she's not done, but I really, really am very happy with her. She's big. She's very big. If you can see, she's got ringlets in her hair. There's beads in her crown. If I can get that there, focus a little better. And these are all of her petticoats. And at the bottom of each petticoat is a specialty stitch. And then, so the first day we'll be doing these petticoats and working our way up. And then the second day, we're going to come back and add the embellishments, which will be beads and needle lace and other decorative 3D kind of stitches. So I don't know if you can see right here. It's kind of hard to see. I have added, this is detached buttonhole. There's beads. And so I'm still working my way down and designing each of the additions to the petticoat to make them frilly. So I'm really, really happy with her. I'm excited. This project has made me very happy. Try not to drop that on the floor. The colors are just, they're so me, they're so bright. I don't like dull colors. And have you ever had a project and you know, you work on it and then you set it down and you come back to it and you go, this makes me so happy. The colors just make me happy and peaceful, and I'm just loving it. I mean, she's big and her skirt was much wider, but I decided to cut it down because that is a lot of stitching. But it's so much fun. I've had such a good time working on her. She's really worked up pretty fast considering how much there is to her. Of course, you know, I had to pull some stuff out because I didn't like the color when I got it on there. It didn't work right. So she's been reworked a few times and redesigned and reprinted, and I've got a stack of, every time I go in and change her, I have to reprint different things. So anyway, that's what I've been working on, along with some other whips, which I'll show you another time. But I'm so excited about this. I want to get it done so I can start submitting it to for teaching next year or sometime in the future, hopefully near future. Next, I got together with some friends. They're called the Minnesota Stitchers, which is Manatee, Sarasota County. So it's in Bradenton, which is south of me. It took me about 45 minutes to get there from St. Pete, but it's not a bad drive. So anyway, I had the pleasure of spending a day stitching with these new people. Some I knew, some I didn't, at Three Palms Needlework, which is in Bradenton. Now, the shop is in, I think the shop's been around for a while, but it's in a brand new building, brand new shop. It's lovely. It's just so comfortable and pretty. And it has these wonderful rooms, a whole room of all sorts of fibers and different types of fibers, mostly for needlepoint, but I use a lot of those type of threads, fibers when I'm stitching samplers and to give a variety on mine. So it was just lovely. Like I said, she carries mostly needlepoint, not cross stitch. She didn't really have any linen, but she is getting in more like silks and things. She pulled out some of the silks that were still in the package they were shipped in and let us touch them. Oh, if you've never touched silk floss, oh, it was lovely. I don't remember the brand name. It was one I hadn't used, but it was just beautiful, beautiful. So, and she has different areas in the shop where you can sit. She did kind of set up an area for us. There was 8 of us there. So she had little tables. There's also a sitting area in the front of her shop, the first room, with these wonderful chairs and table. And I'm telling you, these are the most comfortable chairs I've ever sat in at a shop or a retreat. These are like padded, nice, really comfortable chairs. So I added a link to her shop Facebook page and her shop website. So you can go check it out. But if you're ever in the area, it's not too far off of 75. Just put the address in your GPS and head on over there. It was really, really wonderful. I had such a great time. Oh, the owner's name is Carrie. Very friendly, very helpful. I talked to her, we all talked to her quite a bit, and she helped us with some projects we were working on. She helped me find some thread I needed that I hadn't been able to get. So that was helpful. Anyway, please check it out. And while I was in the shop, she had a few books there, some of which I already had, which were full of different stitches. They're needlepoint stitches, but I use them a lot in my counted thread projects. So I found this wonderful book. Well, there's a glare. Let me take the plastic cover off. This is called Teeny Tiny Needlepoint Stitches by Carolyn, Hedge, Baird. Yes. So, and you know how much I love stitches. Well, this has a ton of stitches in it. They're not diagrammed the way I do. They're more hand-drawn. And, well, not really hand-drawn, but they're different. But anyway, they're easy to follow. Like I said, they're mostly needlepoint, but I can use these in mine. There were a few stitches I hadn't seen. They are smaller, but I had such a good time. I've been having a good time going through this book. You can see it's quite large. There's a lot of, I don't know how many stitches are in here, but there's quite a few. And then she has a nice directory in the back. So if you're looking for a specific stitch, I can find it, the directory here. If you're, it's an index, but then there's other information in here, how to make birds, just all sorts of helpful little things. And then she has a lot of this to do your own ideas. Maybe take 2 of these stitches and put them together. Oh, here we go. She has this throughout the book. So this is a water stitch, but then she has these little blank canvases. So you can kind of maybe take 2 or 3 stitches and put them together. It's very creative. I'm very happy with it. I put the information also in the comments section. A link. I don't have a link to where to get the book. This was the only one Carrie had at Three Palms Needlework, but she may be able to get more. But I did put the information, and this was published in 2015, so it's been out for 10 years. And I also put a link to her Facebook page, which is called Needle Pointing in Your Nest. And it has all sorts of fun designs and pictures. I didn't spend a lot of time. I just found it tonight when I was getting ready to do my thing here. So anyway, that's my exciting new book. And yeah, I like these books that are bound like this because they lay flat. So you can just set it next to you and practice the stitches, pull them out. It's got the numbering, so you know how to work the stitch and then what it's going to look like. She gives a lot of variations of the same stitch. I'm very happy with this book. Like I said, I have a lot of books, but there was some stuff in here I hadn't seen before. So whoops, there we go. Again, that's my book review for this. Again, I'm not getting any money for this. I just like to share when I find something really cool. So I think that's it for that because, I've been gone a while, but because I did miss July, sorry, I'm going to have 2 new stitch of the month. We're going to do a July stitch and an August stitch back to back. So I do have 2 new stitch of the month. So let me bring them up and find there it is, my printout here. First one is, that's the second one. Where's my, oh no, I lost my page. Oh, there it is. Okay. This one it's kind of different. This is called, it's very thick. It's called a Smyrna variation with 4 steps. So this is, I'm going to pull it up in PowerPoint here in a minute so I can talk about it. But it's a heavily layered stitch. And of course, I'm going to demonstrate it like I always do. And then the next stitch is diamond trellis with checkerboard cross. So this one's a little simpler. And they both turned out really pretty. How much you can, this is, of course, is my stitch of the month. And I've been just building on it since 2022. But it's these 2 bottom stitches I will show you. This is 28 count linen. And I am working with sulky 12 weight cotton floss. So let me pull up the PowerPoint and then I'm going to demonstrate this for you. So hold on. Okay, so I'm back. Don't let all the numbers worry you. I'm going to break it down. It's 4 steps. It's got like 4 layers. And if you want, you can do the layers in different colors or maybe 2 colors. Like all the X's in one color and all the straight lines in a different color. I did them all in one. So what you're going to do, this stitch is 4 by 4. The original I saw was 3 by 3, but this is pretty tight and has a lot of steps, obviously. So I decided to do it over 4, even though it makes it look a little bit different. I did it over 4 and it still looks really cool. So you're going to do a big X, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 4 threads as usual. Then you're going to do 2 vertical stitches over top. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if you wanted, because it is kind of open in the middle, it won't be that open when you stitch it. You could do another vertical stitch in there. Then what we're going to do is a horizontal, like an oblong cross stitch. So you're going to come up at 10, which is 1 thread above step 1. Excuse me, you're going to come up at 9. I decided to work it from the other side. So you're going to come up at 9, which is 1 thread below step 2, and you're going to go down at 10, which is 1 thread above step 1. Then you're going to come up at 11, which is 1 thread above step 3, and go down at 12, which is 1 thread below step 4. Now that's a really interesting stitch just by itself. but this has the added box around it, which is the fourth step. So you're going to come up at 13, which shares a hole with 1, and do a vertical line across the bottom over 4 threads. Then you're going to go up diagonally, come up at 15, which shares a hole with step 4, and go down at 16, which shares a hole with step 2. Then you're going to come up at 17, which shares a hole with step 1, go down at 18, come over here, come up at 19, and go down at 20. That is 1 stitch. Then you're going to come up here for 21, which is the same as step 1. But when you do the second stitch, you see they share holes, but the second stitch has, it already has the vertical line on the left, the vertical stitch on the left of the stitch. So you won't need to do that. Don't do 2 of those. Don't go over it again when you finish your second stitch. So there'll just be 1 layer there. So that is your Smyrna variation with 4 steps. And then our next stitch is diamond trellis with checkerboard cross. This one's a lot simpler. This one is just diagonal and straight stitches. And so it's little diamonds with upright crosses and regular cross stitches over 2 threads. And you can do these all the same. This one had checkerboard, so they're different. So we're just going to work the diagonal stitches first. And I did mine in 2 different colors. You can do it in 1 color. It'll give you a different effect. I did it in 2 different colors, pink and a darker pink, to make the center pop. So you're just going to work your diagonal stitches in any order you want. I worked as the numbers show here, and then I moved down and just worked the next stitch below it. Then I moved over to the right and worked the outline of that stitch and moved up and just worked my way across the row. I mean, there's 3 rows, but there's actually only 2 stitches in each up and down. So work your way all the way across the row to the end, however many the chart shows. You can see on the bottom, that's what it's going to look like. And then you're going to work what I did. You're going to work your upright crosses and your cross stitch with your diagonal crosses. So notice that this is 1 thread in. It's over 2 threads, but it's 1 thread in from each side. So I like to work my horizontal stitches first when I'm doing an upright cross. So you're going to work your horizontal and work your vertical. And then what I did, I went over and worked the next stitch to the right and worked my way all the way across the row. And I went down and worked the bottom row of upright crosses. And then I went into the center and worked the cross stitches. Now those are going to be a little more challenging because it looks, if you can see at the bottom where you would do your first part of this X, it looks like there's a lot of room, but this thread is thick. So you just have to kind of wiggle your way in there. I had some of them, I had to manually pull that thread down a little bit so I could get in there and get my thread to come out. So that's the diamond trellis with checkerboard cross. So the first thing I'm going to do is the Smyrna variation with 4 steps. So hang on and let me get my camera set up and I will demonstrate this for you. Okay, I'm back. Let me get, oops, I dropped that. Let me get my first stitch ready here. So this is, I'm going to do the Smyrna variation. So you can see it, there's a lot of layers to this. So, but once you get the rhythm down, you're good. I always say that, but you are. So let me There we go. Move down just a little bit. I don't know why this won't focus as good as it used to. Yes. There we go. Okay. So again, I'm going to do a cross stitch over 4 threads, 2, 4. So there's, oops, 1, 2. 3, 4. So there's my base cross stitch. Now I'm going to work my 2 upright stitches. Again, you can work these in a different color, or you could put 3 of them in, whatever you want to do. I have a big knot. There we go. So that's 5, 6. 7, 8. Now I'm going to work my diagonal cross. This is 9, 10, and 11, 12. Now again, that's a really pretty stitch. Oops, all on its own. So focus it a little bit. So you can just leave it like that if you want, but the stitch I found calls for this last 4th step, which makes a box around your Smyrna. So that was 13, 14, 15, 16, and I can't do this on this plastic canvas, but what I do when I'm stitching this, I pull this just a little tight, not a lot, just pull it a little tight so it can, it kind of forms around this stitch. So then you don't want to pull it too tight and distort it, just a little bit. Oops. I'm working with such a long thread here, it gets really tangled. So there is 17, 18, 19, 20. Now it looks like there's a big opening in there. Light is on. But show you mine. That's the back. So this is the stitch here. There. So you can see it doesn't show a big opening in the middle. A little bit, but not really. So I did this in the overdyed spring garden. And then you can see here is a diamond trellis here with the 2 different colors of pink. So that's those 2 stitches. Now, when you go to do your next one, you're going to come up in this same hole. You're going to have a lot of stitches in that same hole. And they're going to, so it's sharing holes. I'm doing again a big X. Then I'm going to do my 2 verticals. Oops. So on this one, I'm going to do 3 so you can kind of see what will look like. I've not done it with 3 before. But again, this is very big. You're going to be working it on a much smaller count. So that kind of fills it in more. So then I'm going to do, whoops, I got to do my diagonals. Now, the reason I'm starting this oblong cross across the top on this side is so you don't have to fight your way underneath this vertical stitch here. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12. Now you're going to curl across the bottom, 13, 14, 15, 16, And then your last stitch, which was 1920, but now it is 1718. So there you go. There are those two stitches. Now I'm going to move over, and I dropped my pattern on the floor. You're getting old. Okay, so now I'm going to move my camera down. Sorry for all the shaky here. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take different color and work. I have to rethread my needle, sorry. Work all the diagonal stitches which are the diamonds. I'm going to work that up. And then trying not to get all my threads tangled up here. Oops. Okay, that's why you shouldn't work with really long threads and have them hanging off the back. Okay, so I'm coming up, make sure where you can see it. I'm over here a little bit more. There we go. So this would be one. Diagonal, two. Four. 5, 6, 8. Okay, there is one triangle. Now I just moved down and started working below this one. And you can work, like I said, you can work these in any order you want. I just numbered the first one, but it doesn't always work that way. So there's 2. Oops. Here. Now I'm going to start my next one. You can see again, these share holes. Just going to work a couple of these so you can see how they look. So pretty. Like I said, there's really only 2 rows, but you get like this bonus row in the middle here. Bonus diamond. Okay, I'm just going to work these 2, just so you can kind of see how it looks. Okay. So there's that. Now I'm going to come up with another color. Hang on, tangled here. And I'm going to do my upright crosses. So I'm going to come up here. Now you can work these either directions. You can have the vertical first and then the horizontal. Just make sure you're consistent all the way across. For some reason, I think it pops more if it's got a vertical on top. So like I said, I just worked horizontally all the way across the row. And then I moved my way down here. Oops, and I'm in the wrong spot. See, I get confused too. Okay, horizontal, vertical. Now you can just leave those if you want and not do the center. You can do them all the upright cross. So when you get here, you're going to do your cross stitch. But like I said, remember, you don't have a lot of room here. Now on the diagram, it looks like there's a lot of room, but you kind of have to wiggle your threads around to get in there. And that's it. Work your way across the row till you're done. Okay, I'm back. Back from next door here. So anyway, again, these are going to be posted in the Stitch of the Month Facebook group. So be sure to go visit that group so you can pick up your copy of that. I also include the chart, the little sampler like I'm making. You don't have to use this. You can use these stitches anywhere you like. Again, this is mine. This is this scrap of 28 count linen I got somewhere and thought I would keep it, and it's worked out really good for this project. So again, okay, my chair doesn't work. Okay, so whew, that was a lot of work. I'm used to doing 2 stitches in one video. So that's it for FlossTube 82. As always, I can't tell you how much I appreciate everybody who watches my videos and thanks and like them and subscribed and comments and gets a hold of me when I don't show up and check on me. So I do appreciate it. So be sure to subscribe so you get notified when the next video posts, which will be after the 15th because I won't be home until a few days after that. And share your photos of what you're doing with your stitches. I would love in the Stitch of the Month Facebook group. I'd love to see if you're using them in any of your projects. So let's see. Also, let me know if there's any stitches you want to learn. I have one that's been requested. It's coming. It is coming. Betsy, it's coming. So she's been requesting a stitch. So and next time, hopefully I'll be talking about, well, I'll probably be talking mostly about Minnesota because I'm so excited. But I will also be maybe sharing some antique samplers, some other items. You never know what I'm going to come up with. And so all the links I talked about are posted in the comments description section. So that's it for 82. I will see you sometime in August, probably around the 19th, maybe 20th. I don't know. The 18th, I have to go pick up Mama Kitty, who's wandering around over there looking at her food dish. So, because I bored her while I'm gone. So anyway, thank you again for watching while I'm rambling on, and I will see you again in a few weeks.